Hi and welcome back. In the previous video we took a look at how architecture will look like. In this video we'll install Express and generate the Express app. In the previous video I've instructed you to install Node on your local machine. With installation of Node you get open source server environment for developing a backend app and also NPM, that is free package manager of JavaScript application. If you have installed Node, then you should see the version of Node in the terminal after writing node-v. If you have not installed yet, pause the video and come back after you do. Okay? So we're now ready. First, create a folder where you'll have your project and then go into it in your terminal. You should be in the project folder when we start. I'm here. This is the folder where I have all my currently in development projects. You can have them everywhere you want, like for example on desktop. I'll create a folder by running mkdir react bot. This will create a new folder. Now I can move into it. cd react bot. Okay, I have a react bot folder and in here I'll be creating everything, from backend to frontend. Okay? Did you create a folder? Are you inside the folder? Now we can initialize a project with npm. With this we'll create package.json file. To do so, run the npm init command. Package name will be React Bot. Version 1.0, so again enter. And I'll add a description. React bot for web page, like this. And yes, entry point will be index.js. No test command, no git repository, no keywords. You can add yourself as author, that is Jana Bergant. Mine will be a free software license. Okay, this is how the JSON file will look like. Type yes. Okay, now what happened? File with JSON was created. This file is the metadata of the project. It's meant for the npm. It will help npm with handling project dependencies. Okay, now would be the time to open the project with your favorite editor for writing Node.js code. I'm using WebStorm. I like it, but it's not free. Another great editor, a free editor, would be Visual Studio Code. Or some others like Komodo IDE, Eclipse, Sublime Text, Atom, or Brackets. You can find the list with links in the resources of this video. Okay, this is now my IDE. I will open the project folder, like this. Right now I have only package.json file in it. And if I open it, I can see this structure. This is what we created before. Now I can start by creating an index.js file. This is going to be an entry point for our backend app. Create new file and call it index.js. Here we'll start adding the code for backend app. Okay, do you have it? We've said that we'll use Express to build the backend app. To use Express, we need to install it. In the resources, you can find the link to the module. To install it, go to Terminal, to Project folder. Yes, you need to be in the project folder. Every module you install for the backend app needs to be installed from the projects folder. That is where the package.json file is. So write to terminal, npm, install, Express. And now important, dash save. This flag is important. If we add it, then the npm will remember this is the project dependency and will write this information to package.json. Why is this important? Well, when we move an application to the server, we won't be copying all the modules. npm will handle this for us on the server, and it will install the right modules for us, all the dependencies we need. Therefore, npm install express-save. We'll install the module and remember the dependency in the package.json file. It takes a while, okay? Let's go back to editor, refresh, What happened? Node_module folder was created for us. In here all the modules will be installed. Warning: never modify the contents of this folder if you want to live happily ever after. Modifying will be done by npm. Okay? That is why we have npm, to manage dependencies for us. Okay. In the package.json file we can see Express has been added as a dependency. And now that we have Express available, we can start writing the code. Open index.js file. We will now get the Express module. Write out the following: const express equals require and pass in the string express. This includes Express. You might have seen in other applications the different syntax, the syntax with import. That syntax would be import Express from Express. This is because Node.js doesn't support ES6 modules. In the resources you can find a link with explanation why is that so. We'll be using these features when we write front-end app. In the back we'll go with Node.js standard version. For those of you who would like to use ES6 features also on the backend, I recommend using Babel. Babel helps you write code in ES6 and it transforms it for you back to ES5. I have added a link to resources for those of you who want to use Babel. We're not using import yet. Therefore require Express for us. Now let's make the app. App can be created like this: const app equals Express with brackets. Simple. Now we'll tell our app to listen on port 5000. This is standard port for Node.js apps. We do this by writing app listen and we pass in 5000. Okay. Are you ready for some root handling? Yes? Remember in the diagram where I showed you how Express helps us with root handling? This diagram here. Right now I'll show you how we do this. Go back to index.js. I'll write app.get. This part means that we're creating a handler for the GET requests. And the parameter will be the root address. We'll first create a root handler for GET requests on the home page. Therefore, the parameter will be a single backslash. The next parameter is the code that will be handling this root. That is the root handler. I'll be using the arrow function here. Let me show you what is arrow function. It might look complicating and confusing when you look at JavaScript code with arrow function, when it's really very simple. It's just syntactic sugar. If you look at this example, first is a function called callback. A simple function that we know from almost every programming language. It has two parameters and inside curly braces it does something, it runs some code. Okay, we are all familiar with this kind of function. The second example is a variable that has a function assigned to it. Variable name is callback and it's now a function with two parameters. So the function takes two variables and does something with them. Third example is arrow function. Again, we have a callback constant variable, and the change that was made was the word function was removed and arrow was added. Like in a function when parameters are changed and used in some code, it is the same in the arrow function. Parameters rec and res will be used in the do something code. This is what we'll use in our code. I'll go back to code and I'll write the arrow function here. Therefore rec, that is request, and res, that is response, will be parameters for arrow function. So arrow here, and now the curly braces. What we'll do is just send a simple JSON response. We'll display some JSON like hello friend, res.send, and inside an object, hello, there. Okay, this is our first root handler. A root handler for GET requests to root of our app, and it will display a simple JSON. Now save the file. Now let's run it. Go back to terminal and run node index.js. You need to be in your project folder when you run the command, okay? Now you can go to browser and open localhost on port 5000. that is localhost is our localhost and 5000 is the port we're running the application on. And we see the JSON. Woohoo! Congratulations! You have your app up and running. Okay, to stop a Node.js server, go back to terminal and click Ctrl+C. This will stop a script from running. Okay? So what you did in this video is you've installed Express module and then you wrote the Node.js app that passes the request to Express, and Express then handles routes. If it finds the route handler, it processes the request. In our case, it just displays the simple JSON structure. In the process, you've also learned a bit more about arrow function. So way to go! Before we write more code, let's first deploy to Heroku. That way we'll have the development cycle up and running. See you in the next video. Bye bye!